It is time for the Merkle Retirement Minute. So we brought the main man in the studio with us, Jackie Lauren Merkle, joining us right now. And I know you're going to be hearing what the topic is this morning going, wait a minute. It's the beginning of October. What am I worrying about this now for?
That's what we're planning. This man is getting us on the right track and making some wonderful plans for our future, especially when it comes to retirement. So let's get down to it. Stick around because we're going to make this interesting for you. Taxes. Why are we talking end of the year taxes right now?
Well, what we don't want to do is wait till January, February, because a lot of the strategies that we may be able to implement go away after 12/31 for this year, 2019. So if we're waiting until January or February, which is when everybody wants to wait,
that ship's already passed.
It's already gone.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So now we'd be talking about what we can do for a 20.
What are those strategies? What are you talking about? What can I be doing with my money now when most of the time I'm not getting the paperwork I need until mid-January?
Well, there's multiple strategies that we can implement for today's show. We're probably going to talk about 3, unless you guys want to go a little bit different direction. We'll just see how it goes. But coming off the heels of the tax change of last year, 2018, one of the big changes that everybody's talking about is the standard deduction increase.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So for many singles, it increased to $12,000 that you don't have to pay taxes on. For married couples, finally jointly, up to $24,000, which means that most people, estimated about 95% of us, will no longer be itemizing.
Right.
Because there's really no reason.
We don't make that kind of money.
We don't have those kind of itemizations to get up there. So if we want to look for some tax benefits where we still don't have to itemize, that's where a strategy like a qualified charitable distribution may come into play. Now the key with this is you have to be at least 70.5 or older in order to take advantage of this strategy.
Okay.
But if you're in that demo, if you're in that demographic, what an opportunity, because a lot of people, once you're 70.5 or older, now you're mandated to start taking distributions from your pre-tax monies, the pre-tax 401k plans, the pre-tax IRA. So you have to take this money out, you have to pay taxes on it.
Right.
And if you don't have itemized deductions above $24,000 or $12,000, you don't get any additional tax benefits.
Okay.
So let's say what you're mandated to take out is $10,000 for the year.
Nice easy number.
Nice easy number.
Okay.
You don't want to take out the full $10,000. You only need for your income plan $8,000 of the $10,000.
Okay.
Well, you're already gifting to places like your church or some other local charities. You can take that additional $2,000. Do it as a qualified charitable distribution, not have to pay taxes on it. It still qualifies for the amount you're mandated to take out, and it's $2,000 that you were going to give away anyway to these local charities or any charities that you're already giving to, but now you don't have to pay taxes on it.
Okay.
And in those strategies, you can gift up to $100,000 a year, $200,000 if you're married.
Wow.
So there's a lot of opportunities. Now, most people don't want to do that amount. But what an incredible opportunity if you're already gifting to some of these places like your church.
You just have to increase it.
Well, you don't even have to increase it. Let's say you're just doing $1,000 a year to your church. Now, most people do it monthly or weekly. But you can change how you do it and just take it from the mandated distribution.
From the distribution.
You don't have to pay taxes on the distribution.
Rather than writing out a check.
That's right.
Oh, that's a great idea.
And it's good to know because I consider myself a very charitable person, but I don't even fit into the demographic where it helps me tax-wise.
Yeah.
Obviously, personally, I still get benefits, but tax-wise, it doesn't help me. But it's good to know when I get older.
Well, and that's where another strategy comes into play. So that's just for 70.5 and older.
Yeah.
But now there's this other thing called DAF, or donor advised funds. You can be any age, and what you do is you gift to a donor advised fund, and then you're eligible for a deduction on that amount.
What?
So let's say whatever dollar amount, and so what a lot of people will do is they'll kind of pool their years. So they'll gift every other year to this fund. So they'll say maybe it's $10,000 that you want to do. So you do $10,000 this year, you save over the next year, and then you do another $10,000 the year after. So once it's in this fund, you get a deduction based on that contribution to the fund. Once it's in there, now it can grow. So it can be invested much like your 401k plan.
Now, is this your money that you have here?
It's still your money, but it is irrevocable gift.
This isn't an outside firm. This is your money that you're designating going to a charitable organization.
That's right. So once you gift it to this DAF, this donor advised fund, it is irrevocable. Meaning it's there, but it does grow just like a 401k plan. It's invested. And then over time, you can gift from this fund to any qualified charity that you want to.
And that'll also help you out with
and
your taxes.
it doesn't matter what age you are, you still get the tax.
Okay, what about the money that grows in that fund? Are you taxed on that?
You're not taxed on it.
You're not taxed on the money that grows in there.
You get the tax deduction that goes into it, and you're never taxed on that again. And the charity is not taxed on that either.
And how soon can you draw from this?
Well, you don't draw and spend it as income. You draw and give it to the charity.
I mean,
anytime you want to.
Yeah,
yep.
Okay.
So let's say you do it this year. 10 years from now, you may have still not had gifted that money to a charity.
So it could
just
be
continues to grow.
50 grand in there.
Yeah, it just continues to grow.
And then you could take that and then direct it towards an organization.
Why didn't my tax preparer tell me that?
Never heard about this ever.
As I say, is this because it's not common knowledge with our tax preparers, or this is more information that you would need to get from an organization like yourself?
This strategy, the DAF, has been around since the 30s.
No, it hasn't.
It's just it hasn't been.
It's the first time we've ever heard of it.
It hasn't been very popular. The reason it's becoming more popular is because of the increased standard deduction.
Okay.
Yeah. So yes, work with your retirement planner on these strategies. Work with a CPA, and it's better if the retirement planner and the CPA are working together.
That makes sense too.
One hand knows what the other's doing, right?
That's exactly right.
Okay. What are some other strategies? We have a little bit of time left. I know you have a lot of ideas. What are some other things that we can talk about today?
Yeah, so one of the other strategies that you can look at is your 401k contributions or a deductible IRA contribution. Now, the deductible IRA contribution you have up until you file taxes. So this one doesn't go away at 12/31. So if you want to make an IRA contribution, you have up until April when you have to file your taxes to make that contribution and make it deductible.
Okay.
Now, the question today is, with taxes on sale, yes, taxes are on sale based on the tax rate. So right now, the lowest tax rate is 10%. We have, besides zero, it's 10.
Right.
So we have to go all the way back to 1950 before we find another 10% bracket.
Okay.
The highest is 37%.
Okay.
If we go back to the 80s, that highest was over 70%.
Wow.
Jeez.
So taxes are on sale. So the question for people is, does it make sense to make a pre-tax or tax deductible contribution, or should they be paying taxes on that contribution now and have it go into the Roth side?
That's a great question.
And now it grows tax-free forever, and once you're 70 and a half, it doesn't count as far as what's mandated to be taken out.
Right.
Right.
So that is a calculation that we cannot just sit here today and say, you should be doing this, you should be doing this, right? Everybody needs to do that calculation independently, which again is why it's important to talk about now. Because if you're going to be making contributions or increasing contributions to your employer plan, the 401k plan, that has to be done by 12/31.
Right.
The Roth IRA or the tax deductible IRA, you do have up until April of 2020.
And how long does it take to figure that out? Which one would be more beneficial for you?
Well, that's also why it's important to talk about this stuff now, because do a mock return. File a mock return, have your CPA prepare a mock return, because most of these numbers are coming in now. You know, we're in October, November. Most people are going to be able to identify how much tax they're going to pay this year, and then that's when they're going to identify which strategy is right for them, and it doesn't take that long.
And we're also breathing a little bit easier because we all went through last year, so many of us had
the
questions.
First round,
it was a surprise.
What's that going to look like? We now have an idea, so it's not going to be as big of a surprise, or we're wondering where things are going.
Yeah, last year was a big surprise.
Yeah.
And that's why in these Passport to Retirement classes, we'll spend 20-25 minutes on taxes alone. And I'll say taxes are on sale. And sometimes I get these weird looks because most people had to pay more money than what they expected this year, or they didn't get as big of a return back. So taxes on sale is a concept that most people would disagree with unless you actually look at it. And you can see the tax rates right now, and these tax rates, by the way, are going to go up in 2025. So we have another 5 years of taxes while they're lower, because they're automatically set to go up in 2025.
We need to get people information about your Passport class. And now, this is targeted for what age groups?
It's targeted for those within 10 years of retiring or already retired.
All right.
Because we're going to talk about these types of things. You're up to 81 different Social Security strategies, long-term care, how do you cover that risk, estate planning, all these types of things that pre-retirees and retirees want to know about. It's just hard to find that information.
Absolutely. And we're learning about stuff that was around since the 30s, but it can help you with your money. Unbelievable. I always learn something when you're visiting us, Lauren. So if we want more details, it looks like merkleretirementplanning.com, best place to go?
That's the best place to go, and you'll see all the classes that we do teach, the dates and times. And
how often a month do you do them?
2 to 4 times a month.
Okay.
Yep, 2.5 hours long. We don't charge charge anything for the class. It's at a university around the metro, and we just have a lot of fun.
And even when you're talking about something like taxes, you're going to learn something. You're going to be intrigued and interested.
Yeah, and it's interactive. So people who go to this class generally do have fun and learn something at the same time.
That's
Love
the
it.
whole idea.
One of the biggest pieces of feedback we get after the class is they couldn't believe that 2.5 hours was that quick.
Right.
Talking about taxes.
Unbelievable. Well, there you go.
Crazy.
10 minutes just went like that, and we already got some takeaways. So thank you, Lauren, very much for joining us
Thanks for
today.
having me.
Great job as always.
Absolutely.
All right, 10 minutes before